Welcome to Brainworks. I'm Arden McGregor, and today we're talking about diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing is a foundational strategy, which just means that it's one of those basic strategies upon which so many other strategies are built. To get started, let's do an assessment of your breathing. And in our assessment, we're going to use a technique called biofeedback. Biofeedback just means that we're going to get information about what's going on in our breathing. So we're going to monitor our breathing, and we're going to use our hands. I'd like you to put one hand on your chest and one on your belly. The next thing I'd like you to do is, while you breathe, I'd really like you to exaggerate your breath. Make it very, very dramatic. And that will make it much easier to distinguish what's going on. Okay, hands in position. Take a deep and very exaggerated breath in. Okay, if you're like most of the people that come to work with me, you probably breathed very much like I just did. And I just gave you a very good example of a chest breath or a thoracic breath. And that just means that the air really concentrates right up here in your chest. It's really very shallow, and it never really gets very deep down here into your belly. So with our hands, one of the things that I noticed with my hand was that the hand on my chest raised, and I even noticed that the hand on my belly sucked right back in when I took that air, like that. The other thing that I noticed, that likely you at home noticed as well, was that my shoulders went way up when I got that breath. And that's very common when you're trying to get a very deep breath and you're breathing through your chest. What ends up happening is, in order to get a big enough volume of air, your shoulders go way up, trying to increase that capacity in your lungs, because there's just no other place to go. You're starting here and you're working up. So chest breathing really is all about up and down, and it's really very shallow. It occurs here. Diaphragmatic breathing, on the other hand, really occurs very low in your belly. The idea is to have the breath come way down here. The other thing about diaphragmatic breathing is that it's out and in, not up and down. So, hands in position for our biofeedback. This time we're going to try a diaphragmatic breath. And remember, try to have the breath start way down here in your belly. Okay, let's do it together. You may have noticed that the hand on my belly went out when I inhaled and came back in when I exhaled. That's what happens in a diaphragmatic breath. You may have also noticed that my shoulders didn't go up and down. Okay. One of the things that is very true about diaphragmatic breathing is that it can be hard to get used to if you're somebody who's been a chest breather for a long time, like most of us have. In order to help you get used to that, I'd like you to imagine that there is a balloon in your belly that inflates when you inhale and deflates when you exhale. Let's try it again with that in mind. Here we go, hands in position, deep breath in, and out. And that's the basics of diaphragmatic breathing. Join us next time for part 2 in our series. Bye-bye.